Page 1. Okay. My name is Alvin Nguyen, and I will be presenting the rise in xenophobia along with the rise in coronavirus. A few days ago, I read a very controversial headline written by a French newspaper press that read, "Alerte jaune." This directly translated to yellow alert. And while I didn't personally take any offense to this, I thought, how would people react if there was a headline that read, "Black alert" in America? I don't think that'd fly by so well. The rise in coronavirus has led to an increase in anti-Asian sentiment. And while I do believe the world needs to reduce the spread of this virus as quickly as they can, I also believe that we need to help minimize the spread in xenophobia against Asian Americans. As an Asian American who has personally experienced this xenophobia, I believe that I have the credibility to speak about this moral issue. With our classes after spring break having been completely moved to an online format, we can already see the impact of this virus in our daily lives and the lives of everyone throughout the world. Today I would like to share why xenophobia is such a big issue, how we can help stop racism against Asian Americans, and what can happen if nothing is done about it. First, we need to learn why xenophobia is such a big problem. According to health policy researcher Matthew Lee, Asian Americans are once again facing hostility due to a public health emergency. Chinese restaurants are empty across the country, and Asian American children and students have experienced both harassment and discrimination throughout the world. Outcasting racial groups has been a normal with disease such as Ebola and SARS, but it's never been to this extent. Media and misinformation has seemingly spread quicker than the virus itself, and it seems like the Chinese are at fault for even spreading this disease. While corona is a serious issue, racism shouldn't have to come with it. Obviously, viruses don't discriminate between hosts based on race, ethnicity, nationality, or immigration status. Discrimination will not prevent this virus from spreading in this case either. So you might be thinking, well, I don't think I've been explicitly racist against Asian people, and you might be right, but explicit racism isn't the problem. It's been implicit racism. Berkeley scientist Winston Tsang stated that part of the original history of xenophobia and racism in America from the 19th and 20th centuries is coming back. What he means is, in the late 1800s, China and Chinese immigrants were perceived as a job threat to many Americans. And as a result, much misinformation spread regarding Chinese people claiming that they carried diseases such as the bubonic plague as well as smallpox. So why would this be relevant now? Well, I believe today Americans still have a huge mistrust against Chinese people, particularly regarding China as both an economic and political threat. Corona has given people another reason to mistrust many Chinese people, and as a result, many Asian Americans are impacted in general. If this continues, I believe Asian Americans will continue to be seen as different and stigmatized, and their culture will be stigmatized as different compared to the rest of the ethnic cultures within America. So why should you care? If you're avoiding Asians, you're just looking out for yourself, right? Well, I believe you should care because it's the right thing to do. Imagine someone not wanting to be near you or not wanting to be friends with you just because of how you look or where you were from. Maybe many of us that are watching this have experienced this. Well, America was a country built upon freedom, opportunity, and equality. For many people such as myself, the coronavirus has taken our sense of equality and belonging. We should be fighting against this virus and not the people. So now that you know why it's important to reduce anti-Asian racism, here's what you can do to stop it. So obviously, ending racism is an impossible task, but I believe you can help by checking yourself. Don't blame an entire country or race. It's not going to help, and diseases can obviously start from anywhere. And second, don't listen to everything the media says. Many of them are trying to just flash big headlines at you to get you to read their article or anything else. And third, if you do see explicit racism, please try to reason with the person. Tell them that racism isn't going to stop this disease anytime soon. And in the end, you might still blame China. And you might be right. China did spread the disease, right? But research has shown that this disease is very hard to track. A study found that the median incubation period was estimated to be between 5.1 days, and 97.5% of people who develop symptoms will do so within 11.5 days. This means that symptoms can take anywhere from a couple of days to a couple of weeks to show. The unaware person could be out and about spreading this disease unknowingly, and this means that this disease obviously could have been spread from anywhere. You shouldn't blame Chinese people in particular. It's not their fault. So, what happens if the coronavirus keeps spreading and xenophobia with it? I mean, we've already seen a huge economic impact. Asian markets and Asian-owned stores, such as my parents, have been the first to lose business. At this rate, many businesses will shut down and many workers will be laid off, which would be very detrimental to many families, Asian families particularly, across the nation and across the world. Furthermore, if xenophobia does continue, Asian Americans will continue to be stigmatized as different. Asian Americans have always been a little different, have been seen as a little different in comparison to other ethnicities and cultures throughout the United States, and there are many stereotypes surrounding this. If this xenophobia continues, Asian Americans will continue to be dissociated from society and lose their sense of belonging and equality in America. In conclusion, we do need to end racism as soon as we can against Asian Americans and continue to focus on stopping this virus. I hope you learned that Corona is a major global health issue and that Asians are not to blame. You now know why xenophobia is such a big issue, how you can help stop racism against Asian Americans, and what can happen if nothing is done about it. The only way to stop this virus is to continue listening to doctors. Wash your hands and avoid large crowds. Avoiding Asians isn't going to reduce your chances of getting this virus. Personally, I have denounced racist comments in real life as well as on social media, and I plan on continuing this spreading awareness against Asian American discrimination. Today, I hope you learned that the coronavirus isn't my fault or my cousin's. I hope you all stay safe and that we'll see each other in the fall. Thank you.